Oh!
Well,
12! Good luck, dude.
Alright, welcome back everybody. I know it's been a while, but I do have all of the recordings for February, March, April, and May. I will be getting them edited and posted here soon, but we are back with round 2 of the 2025 K1 Speed Adult GP. Currently, we are sitting in 4th in the championship, and we are trying to make our way into the top 3, trying to make it to states, and then hopefully to nationals, and maybe even worlds, for the K1 Speed Adult GP Championship. I was lucky enough there to get a point buy at the very start of this qualifying session, which allowed me to get nice, clean, open air. Unfortunately, looks like others had the same plan and had waited to get their open air. Lucky for me, it turned out that the person waiting for that open air were, well, it was 2 of the top drivers at the facility. So, I was in a good position to be able to sit back, relax, and follow them a little bit to try and get a bit extra off of their slipstream. Now, slipstream here really doesn't make for a big difference, but every little bit counts when you're talking about 25-ish second laps. As we start to get into the first couple laps of this qualifying session, we're just looking to get heat into the tires and trying not to catch the group in front of us here, but who knows what will happen. It's pretty much inevitable that at some point you are going to end up bunched up unless someone is just straight up faster than the other person. Now, these 2 here are 2 of the people that I have been trying to compete with for this GP, and one of them was simply here trying to prepare for, well, the upcoming 12-hour race at this point. It started at the beginning of the year that a lot more of the drivers who were going to compete in the 12-hour race were doing GP to stay ready and prepared for that event. I also have footage for that, and we'll be posting that. Probably won't do a voiceover on that one, just as a heads up. I don't really know if people enjoy the voiceovers or not, so let me know in the comments below. Do you like the voiceovers, or would you rather just watch the racing? But, as you can see, the cart in front has started to catch the cart in front of them, and so we are getting to a point where the clean air is about to run out. During this time, my goal was just to put in as many good clean laps as I could, and hope that the 2 in front didn't start battling, because this is qualifying, and we both want, well, all 3 of us want to have nice, clean, open air in the hopes of getting the best possible time. Being right behind a fast driver can be helpful. Like I said earlier, that little bit can be the difference between 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It really does come down to splitting hairs, more and more. As you can see, the driver in front of me started to catch the driver in front of them too much, got pinched into the wall, and decided to dip out. Now that gave me a bit more open room to try and work my way up while still having a very good line to follow. Although, as I would come to find out, maybe it wasn't quite as normal as it seemed with the dip out. As we start to catch this driver in front of us, you'll start to see what I mean. Now, they were faster throughout the rest of the track, but every time we came down to turn 1, it started to gain time. 1, 2, and 3 seem to be the spots where I'm able to really pick up a lot of time and close gaps quickly. That being said, my 6 and 7, especially during this time, seem to be where I lose a lot of time compared to a lot of the other top drivers. But we are trying our best here to qualify as high up the order as we can, and that just means keeping your head down and putting in the laps consistent, quick, and as fast as possible. As we start to come up onto the back of this other cart, I decided I'm gonna dip out because I started to notice that every time I got a bit closer, that driver seemed to slow down a little bit. I don't know if it was on purpose or what, if it was a sandbag technique, but maybe they're playing 3D chess and we're just out here racing. As you can see, me dipping out has once again created the same order that we started with. Neither of us seem to want to hold that position behind the Part 14, so we both dipped out. And it seems that, hopefully, that would be a good play. Once again, though, you can see that the driver in front of me is starting to catch Cart 14. During this time, Cart 14 seemed a little bit off, but it was always very quick whenever you got it right. As we came around to the end here, that put us into second place for vision.
Locked in. So locked in. Jacob, look how locked in Anthony is. He's not. Hey, you got it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Luck, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately, we have to skip ahead because my GoPro and I were not cooperating, and I did not get the second qualifying. I ended up in third place. The gap between second and myself was 0.001, 1,000th of a second. Getting into the race here, we go into turn 1, and we are just trying to stay with this front pack. We were here last month, and we ended up getting pressured by the person in fourth, but luckily, this time, there was another driver between us, and the person behind me was going to have to deal with the same thing that I dealt with during January's GP. Being hunted, which allowed me to kind of stay with this front pack, not have to fight with the person behind me. As you can see, we are all very evenly matched here up at the front three, which makes it very difficult as we come down into turn 1. Still, the gap is so close, and we're starting to bunch up even more as we go through 1, 2, and 3. We all seem to have our strong suits on this track, and it seems that it keeps us all very, very close. Again, my goal is simply to stay with these guys as much as I can. Look for an opportunity if there is one, but I wasn't expecting anything. As you see, the smallest little mistakes can cause really big gaps to start to form. As I washed a little wide in 6, lost time all the way down 7. But as we come back into 1, 2, and 3, again, that seems to be the area where I am able to kind of pick up time on a lot of the drivers at the facility. Then again, we come back to 6 and 7, and I start to lose time all the way down this straight, which is detrimental. At this point, it has kind of turned into the front three that you can see here, pulling away from the rest of the pack behind us, as the driver behind me had to play a lot of defense. Now, I was starting to lose time on these front two, but then they started battling. And as you can see, first place had to take a bit more defensive lines, probably than they would have liked to, and that allows me to sneak back in and put myself back into that fighting chance. Now we are more or less back into Monaco mode, where we are parading through 1, 2, and 3, as you can see, still all right here. And you can just see there, Tyler in second is trying to peek up the inside of Marshall, but doesn't quite get it. And Marshall starts to go onto the defensive lines, which on the back part of this track really doesn't lose a ton of time for you, but as you can see, it has really allowed me to start getting back into this mix. Now I can start to kind of put my nose into the fight. Originally I was going to try and, push second place through, but that area into 4 is just not a good spot to do it. I looked on the outside for that move, but as I said, the defensive line into 5 on the back part of the track really doesn't lose you a lot of time. They were able to hold it. The hardest part about racing on this track is passing. With the way it is set up, it is so difficult to set yourself up for a good pass, specifically on the indoor layout. You can take really good defensive lines without really losing time. And now, I saw an opportunity to set up a switchback here, but didn't quite get far enough alongside. When we made contact, just hit the brakes, pull out from the move. I just didn't want to try and force the issue and cause something bigger than it needed to be. Unfortunately, that broke the battle between second and first, just that little tap, and now it's a battle between second place and myself, instead of us trying to all battle together. First place now has the comfort zone and is able to start to pull away, as they don't have the pressure, but as you can see, Tyler in second there is still taking the defensive lines, not wanting me to be able to pass, which I completely understand. I was hoping we would work together to try and get back up to Marshall there in first, but it just wasn't going to happen. Realistically, these races are over so quickly. You're talking 16 laps at 25-ish seconds apiece. It's over in under 8 minutes. So, I understand why the defensive lines were there. I did try to back out a little bit in the hopes that Tyler might realize, oh, okay, he's not going to fight, and maybe instead we can work together. It doesn't seem that that was what was on his mind though, because every time I started to get close, you can see he's turning his head, he's looking at me, wondering where I'm at, and my goal at this point is just to try and go further and further up the pack. But realistically, it just wasn't going to happen in such a short amount of time. Generally, if you can find a comfortable rhythm on these races, you can more or less hold on for 16 laps without causing too big of an issue. At this point here on the last lap, we were just racing, hearts were warm, and we come around for third place, which was good enough to move us up into third place. and it is our best finish of the season so far. Thanks for joining me here on this race. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like, leave your comments, and let me know. There will be more on the way. See you soon.
Dude, it's so hard to pass.
Yeah.